Hello everyone. Today we have a special guest, Rakib with us. Rakib, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. This is Rakibul Hassan. I am a PhD student currently studying in Louisiana State University, USA. I am a Bangladeshi textile engineering graduate. I did my master's here in USA. I'm currently doing PhD. Uh, I did my BSc in textile engineering from Bangladesh University of Textiles. Yep.
Okay. So tell me something about your university. Tell me something about your current university.
Okay, so currently I am in Louisiana State University. It is a public university in deep south of USA. It is one of the largest university, it's called the flagship university in Louisiana, and there are huge number of students, around 30,000 to 40,000, and it is very popular in this region. So students from different countries of the world come here to study for their most of them study in the graduate level, and also there are undergraduate students also, and we have a very good Bangladeshi student community here.
Okay, that's good. So tell me, at what point of your life you start to think about coming to USA? When did you start?
Okay, so when I finished my undergrad, I joined in a textile company as a textile engineer. I worked in the product development section. So although I was working and also I was enjoying the job, I had a dream to pursue higher education. Actually, at that point, I didn't have a long-term goal what I do with higher degree from abroad, but I wanted to differentiate myself from the others because uh, going to the industry and doing job what other people do is like too mainstream, and everyone else is doing the same thing. So uh, after a certain time, it will not become very much interesting to do the same thing again and again. And also there were lack of advanced studies in Bangladesh. Like we do not have any PhD program in textile in Bangladesh still now, and very few university offers a master's degree. Uh, Therefore, and also quality was an issue because we know whatever we teach, everything is coming from abroad. Like the textbook we are studying in undergrad, all are written from foreign writers. All the technology used in the industry are made in not made in Bangladesh. So I thought it would be great if I go abroad, uh, take some higher degree related to my field, and if I get chance to come back to Bangladesh, I may apply those things in the industry. So that's what I thought on that moment. And also, not many students were going for higher studies from textile industry, so there was a need. There was a crying need for higher degrees in our field. So these things actually inspired me, and also yeah, I think I have already answered and gave some more information what you asked.
Okay, so could you please tell me how did you prepare yourself like for higher studies like GRE, TOEFL, or what was the preparation? Like how much time you took, or what is the way you took?
I targeted USA for higher studies, and for that I needed GRE and either TOEFL or IELTS. So I took the GRE and TOEFL exam. So when I took the decision to go abroad, I started working with my some other friends who are also thinking to go abroad, and they were also taking preparation for GRE and TOEFL. So we collaborated ourselves and shared what we need to study. So I started with the GRE because it was a difficult one, then the TOEFL exam. So for GRE, at first I started with the word list, the vocabulary. I started memorizing the studying the vocabulary, which was very helpful. Although there are like 5,000 word list, but I hardly read 1,000 word maybe, because most of the words are very much difficult to memorize and understand. But my main strength was on the quantitative part rather than the verbal part, because I have an engineering degree, so I have some I have a good command on the quantitative part, so I put a lot of stress on quantitative part and less stress on verbal part, because uh, the way the verbal part is examined uh, uh, requires a long term preparation. Like if you are very much comfortable with reading English literature, like if you understand the English just after reading sentence each by each, then you may have a good score on the verbal, and it will take like, I would say, minimum 1 year you should spend on that. But I didn't have that much time, and also I wasn't that much good at English literature or the verbal related questionnaire, so I didn't put much emphasis on that. I uh, worked so most of the time I worked on the quantitative part. Okay, so I think I took preparation for 6 months, but actually out of 6 months, 4 months were like just reading unorganized way. Like uh, I think I took serious preparation for 2 months. Okay, so but other 4 months I was within the process, but I wasn't that much. What should I say? The studying was not organized. Okay, so like yeah, something like that. Uh, so it took like 6 months for preparation, and then I took the GRE and TOEFL just within 4 days.
Okay. So at that time you are doing full-time job, right?
Yes, I am also doing a full-time job in a private university in Bangladesh.
Mhm.
So in an academic job, it helps to take uh, study preparation or exam preparation, because academic job requires studying by yourself, and also these exam requires studying by yourself. So these both study do not conflict. Like if I were in the industry,
Mhm.
I had to spend the whole 8 hours each day just for working. I wouldn't have any spare time. But in academic job, I had spare time. I utilized that time for studying. So yes.
Okay. So now let's come to about now let's learn about the funding. Okay.
Okay.
So it's very interesting part for student. Like most of the students like to know about the funding. So tell me, how did you get the funding?
Okay, so the funding was very difficult to get, because I was uh, contacting a lot of professors in USA, and hardly they reply most
How
of the.
many school? I mean, how many professor you contacted?
I do not remember exactly how many professor I emailed, but in the end I decided to apply 6 universities,
Mhm.
because six uh, maybe it's 15, 20, or 30 universities I emailed, but I got a so-called positive reply, or professor told me that okay, you can apply, you are encouraged to apply. I
Mhm.
think it's 6 to 10, and from those I choose 6 universities for application. I didn't go for the 10 because it costs a lot of money. Okay, so I had to be economic, like how many I need to apply, how many more university I need to apply, because I had a limited budget, so I had to plan in that way.
So you're talking about a master's degree or PhD degree?
Oh, I'm talking about the master's degree. PhD is a different
Oh,
scenario.
okay. So you're talking about master's degree. Like you have completed
Yeah.
master's from
I first
Ohio,
came to.
which university?
I did my master's in Ohio University.
Okay, Ohio University. So, and it was fully funded, right?
Yes, it was fully funded. Actually, there are some misconception about full funding,
Mm-hmm.
because what we call full funding is actually not true in the context of US graduate studies, because sometimes the universities give 9 months funding, sometimes they give 12 months of funding. So my master's was 9 months funding, and it wasn't included, it didn't include the airfare. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like there are and also the first 1.5 months costing was not included. Like you have to come to USA at least 1 or 2 weeks before class starts,
Mm-hmm.
and you will get the salary after 15 or 30 days,
Mm-hmm.
starting from your first class. So during that time you have to bear your own cost.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of costs associated with these things, so I don't think it's a full fund. Okay. And also I had to show like thousand and $1,300 self fund as
Okay.
a supplementary. So
Okay.
it's actually not a full funding thing. Like what other prestigious scholarship gives you, like I can give an example of the Commonwealth scholarship, or the different government scholarships that covers every possible cost associated with your higher study journey.
Okay.
But
So,
but but another thing I would like to add, that the the amount of money they give, it's like quite enough to live here, and like unless these things, it's quite enough to live here in USA for 9 months or for 12 months in a year.
okay. So, so Rafi, okay. So can you tell me your little bit profile that you had? So before coming to US, you had any publication?
Okay, so I had two publications in
Mm-hmm.
uh, one local journal and one international journal,
Mm-hmm.
but those were not much high profile journal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like what I did in my for my undergraduate program, I had a project work in the final year,
Mm-hmm.
so that's been published in an international journal.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another journal with my colleagues from my university
Mm-hmm.
where I did my faculty job.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was published in that university's journal, but
Mm-hmm.
these two are not high rank, high profile journal. But I mentioned those in my CV and my initial communication with the professors.
So tell me one thing: what actually help you? What mainly help you to get the admission in your master's program? Like, is it SOP, your GRE score, or CGPA, or what do you think? Like, what actually help you to get the admission mainly?
I think it is the full package of your application.
Mm-hmm.
It is not specifically the GRE or your CGPA, because there are 5, 6 points
Mm-hmm.
in your application package. These are uh, your background, your CGPA, your job experience, your research experience, your
Mm-hmm.
GRE score, your TOEFL score, and another thing is your learning curve, which a lot of people do not know. I will explain this thing, and that then statement of purpose, what is called SOP, and the letter of recommendations from 3 professors. So I think there are it's like nine items, 9 very important items, and also you can include the CV, curriculum vitae. So it's 10 items. Okay,
Okay.
so I have more or less some level of achievement in these. Like I displayed these 10 things in my full application package, and uh, like those were not not much poor, but not much very great. But I think those are on an average. That was a good package, good combination. So I think overall my profile helped me. And another thing is like from these 10 points, if I omit my research experience and my job experience, it will go down. Okay, so you cannot actually ignore these things. Like you can get a full funding without a research profile or job experience. Okay, because a lot of undergraduate students do not have these type of things. A lot of students like just come USA just after finishing their undergrad program, so they may not have a research profile. So actually, it is understandable. Uh, it's not a problem. It's not a big deal. Like you can, if you have a research profile, little bit of experience with doing scientific research, then it's like a plus point for you. Okay, because the professors do not expect that much. The students who are coming just after undergraduate program, like if you did a master's program, then you would have a master's thesis. Okay, so that would help you. That will definitely help you in your application pro package.
Okay. Then tell me something. How did you get funding in your PhD? Like I think it's different university, right?
Yes. So for PhD, when I applied, that's a different story than my master's application, because after finishing the master's, I got one master's degree. I have one full publication in the reputed journal. I had two conference papers. Okay, I have one poster presentation. I had a good CGPA in my master's, so a lot of things. And also, I got recommendation letters from US professors. Like
Okay.
for my master's program, I had recommendations from Bangladeshi professors, but for PhD, I had recommendation from US professors. So it's totally different scenario, and totally upgraded a lot of like way better application package than my master's program.
So, so you applied. How many school you applied? Or
I applied three universities, uh, three universities, and I got funding from one university.
okay, okay, that's good. So, so tell me the career prospect of textile industry. Like those who would like to come for their masters. Okay, those who would like to come to USA for their masters in textile industry. What is their career prospect?
Okay, so first of all, we would like to keep in mind that USA is not a manufacturing, like textile garments manufacturing country. They are importing most of their apparel products from China, India, Vietnam, these type of countries. So there is no manufacturing job for us. And also, I would say it is very hard and very difficult to find merchandising or management related job in textile and garments industry, because uh, for merchandising or textile management, apparel management, these are like kind of business degrees. Okay, so USA have already have a huge manpower for these. And also another thing is like there are jobs in the industry, but if you don't have the green card, or if you don't have the citizenship, it's uh, it's like just 5 to, I would say, it's a 99% impossible to get job. Like there are examples people got job, but it's like 1 in 100 type of thing. Okay, so the main job is like the academic job for the graduates who are pursuing a textile or clothing degree in USA. So like you can do a postdoc, or you can join in a university for assistant professorship. But the job scope is very limited. Like there's a lot of competition, a lot of graduate students passing, so it's very much competitive. Okay,
Mhm.
but you may get a job. Like
Mhm.
it's also depends on your luck. Like when you are clicking where, how good network you have. Okay, or actually who you are. Like what is your background? If you have a very great good background, like maybe you are mm, say if you are a Commonwealth scholar, or you did job for Walmart previously, or you did a job for H&M. So these type of things definitely keeps you ahead from other applicants. Okay, so and how much dynamic you are. Like a job requirement in USA is like kind of different from Bangladesh. Like how much dynamic, how much communication skill you have, how much managerial skill you have. These things matters. It's not only the degree, I think. And another thing is like after having a PhD,
Mhm.
like it's a different scenario. Like when you finish your PhD, you are way ahead from other applicants who are working in the industry but don't have a PhD. But the thing is, you have to market yourself to the employers. Like you have to show or demonstrate that you have these skills and you can have, like, you are a better critical thinker than the other applicants. So in that sense, you should have chance in the job market, but you have to find out how to market yourself.
Mhm.
Okay, like no one will tell you that
Mhm.
you have to go in this direction. You have to find your own direction. So you can get a job, but there's no guarantee. Like I just saw only 1 or 2% from Bangladesh who have textile degree and a US degree. They got a job in USA, but others are still searching for jobs, or gave up hope and switched to other field. It's a lot of examples, so it's difficult to say.
Okay. So how many school is there like who provide textile degree in USA?
So for undergraduate level, there
No, I'm
are,
talking about master's level because most of the people who come they come from master's degree, right?
yes, most of the people come for a master's degree, but there are exceptions also. Okay, let me start from the undergraduate graduate level.
Okay.
Uh, I think there are 50 to 100 universities who
Mm-hmm.
have undergraduate bachelor program for textiles, masters, fashion,
Mm-hmm.
uh, retailing, fashion retailing, these type of degrees.
Mm-hmm.
There are 20 to 30 universities who have masters in this field,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there are 10 to 15 universities who are offering PhD in this field. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so majority student come to the master's degree and they switch to, then they go to PhD. I saw only one person who did a bachelor degree in textile in USA,
Mm-hmm.
who actually came here as an immigrant,
Mm-hmm.
did a bachelor degree in textile in Bangladesh, but
Mm.
after coming to USA, he did another bachelor in a fashion degree.
Okay.
So they, after that he got an industry job in USA, but he has a immigrant visa,
Okay.
so his case is different.
Okay. If you compare the undergrad studies and the master's studies, how
Mhm.
difficult it is? Is it like same thing or so difficult? Like how? I mean, what is the difficulty level in master's program?
So the main difference is in undergrad, you just read the textbooks and gather knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
apply those knowledge on textbook examples,
Mm-hmm.
textbook questions.
Mm-hmm.
But in masters, you have to find your own question. You have to find your own method to find the answer of that question, and you have to find that answer. And the professor will just show you the path how to do these things. And it's mostly research based. So from the very beginning of the masters, you have to study a lot of research papers. You have to develop your idea, uh, what is known and what is unknown. So, and you have to find your area of interest, what you want to know that no one else know. So it's purely a research thing. The master's degree is just a research thing. So like your undergrad knowledge will help you to develop ideas,
Mhm.
but in the end you have to do it by yourself. Okay, in the master's or PhD program.
Okay. So, like my last question is: do you have any suggestion for upcoming student? What would you like to suggest to upcoming student who would like to come to USA?
I would say that like if you have like at first fix what actually you want to do in the long term. Like what is your long term goal? Do not plan a short term goal. Just do not plan you need a degree. Think what you will do with that degree. Okay, so because yes, like if you want to stay in USA, settle down in USA, then plan accordingly, because what I have seen so far in our field, majority jobs are like academic jobs. There are few industry jobs, what I have already explained, and I have explained how much difficult to get those jobs. But nothing is impossible. Like if you are very much passionate, very much dynamic, or if you are not a if you are not a dynamic guy, but you have passion, then grow yourself, develop yourself, so that you can overcome these difficulties. Okay, so yeah, that's the first thing. Like you have to plan yourself very wisely. Okay, because don't just go by your emotion. Okay, so like if you are planning to come to USA, I guess you are in between 25 to 30 years of age, and this time is very critical for your life, because your next 30 40 years is very much depending how you plan your career, uh, whether it's wisely or emotionally. This will affect you. So don't go for a rush. Think at first, do you really need the degree in USA or not? How it will help you your career? Like I want to say, don't regret uh, in the future. Like don't say, oh, why I came to USA. Like if you want to come to USA, then do not keep this type of thinking in your mind. Okay, so psychologically set yourself. And another thing is, okay, so if you want to stay in the academic side, I would say USA is a great place for studying and doing research, and a lot of universities are here for doing job and research. It will be a great place for you if you want to stay in the academic side. And for job market, I have already told how much it is difficult, but maybe it is possible. Okay, if you are a risk loving person, or if you want to take challenge in life, you can come to USA. Okay, you will enjoy this place, and you will enjoy the facilities here. Like it's way like light years of difference from Bangladesh. Okay, like it's a totally different world here in USA.
Okay. Okay, Rakib, thank you for your time. I think your interview or whatever the knowledge you share with us, it will help upcoming student who would like to come to United States, especially in the textile field, right?
Yes, it's actually also applicable for other fields, not only textile, because a lot of things are very much common. Like I gave a few informations which are specific to textiles regarding the job market, but the other things I think are the same for any other field.
Okay, Asif. Thank you for your time. Bye. Take care.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.